G'day and welcome back to the Built for Adventure podcast, where Chris and Rick sit down, answer the questions that come up in our Built for Adventure program, where busy dads are finding time to get adventurous, be the man they want to be, and build their perfect average day. If you want to learn how to be a part of Built for Adventure, drop us a comment, reach out to us on our socials, send us an email, and we'll hook you up with an invite to come check it out and be a part of the tribe. Now, let's get into the episode. I've got no, it's not available today. So I'll kind of just use, I've got this massive database of information on space builders and Built for Adventure and how the system all works. And I actually used AI and I was like, hey, go through all this and just give me a list of questions that I could answer based off these systems and programs and stuff that we do with Built for Adventure. So I'm going to do that. So let's dive in. There's a bunch of questions there. I think there's I don't know if I'll get to them all, but we'll do my best. What are the three main areas of expertise you want to be known for as a space builder? So as coaches, we want to be known for helping to hold, basically creating a space, a safe place for people to land where they can work on the health story arc, their relationship story arc, and their prosperity story arc, which I call it Built for Adventure as a health arc. Be the Man is a relationship arc, and then Build My Perfect Average Life is my prosperity arc. And we want to be that place where basically the concept, the mission behind Space Builders is we see you trying all these things, all these foolproof plans, but you still can't make them work. Let's have the conversations no one's brave enough to have, where we unpack things that are blocking you from making these things work and give you the tools and systems and frameworks and space, a safe place to practice it so you can finally get these things to click in your life. And that's what we want to do in Space Builders. Wherever you want to show up in your health, your relationships, or your prosperity, which is like career, business, wealth, wherever you want to show up in that and allow you to perform at the level you want to perform at and then create the space for the way you want to live your life. So that's what we want to do. How do these areas align with busy parents who feel trapped by time? So when we talk about parents, we usually have our three linchpins of the three key problems: time, the time hole. Family is an obstacle. It's a problem. And they're usually doing shit that's bloody hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. This is a Joe Polish concept, L first half. So what we tend to do is the ones that are trapped by time, it ends up becoming your superpower. But if you are short on time, it means you can only do the things that are the finer details, the stuff that really is going to work. So it cuts out all the noise. That's why we go back to really simple tools for fueling for fat loss. There's 3 steps. Fuel for fat loss, get awareness around how much you're eating. If you're not losing weight, reduce it a little bit. And we'll give you tools on how to do that. The no workout approach allows you to eat more food while still getting lean. So it's going to get you to have a bigger calorie burn. So you can get away with more food while still getting lean as a busy parent. And the last part is the protein set point, which is keeps your heck in check, your hunger, energy, and cravings. It keeps it in check long enough for you to achieve the goal. All those things can be done in 5 minutes a day. As little as 5 minutes a day, it will allow you to work. So all the tools we make have to work in the shortest time possible. And that's what we call a safety net. If we have a safety net that you can fall back on, use this 5 minutes a day mentality, you can fall back in the safety net and still get results. A program works really well. It works no matter what shows up in your life. And that's what we try and do. And that's why the systems we create and build give you are going to work no matter what. No matter what comes up in your life, it'll work as long as you. What personal experiences led you to develop the perfect average day concept? I've had a lot of career changes in my life. I'm still a coach, but I've changed from having a gym and had multiple gyms, and I've jumped around and done a lot of things. Now I'm in marketing for other coaches and create their content for them. And I do mindset coaching and guidance coaching. I like doing a lot of stuff. But the main thing is like, so the perfect average day concept is like, what is your goal? What is your North Star that you want to go towards? In 2 years' time, what do you want your life to look like? My job is to be the primary carer of kids. So that is my North Star. But there's all these other things I want to do as well. We're able to go do races and events, earn income so we can buy a house and all that kind of stuff. So it starts creating this idea of what you need to do in the day. But it gives you rules and you create bumpers around how your day should look. So my bumpers are like, I get up at 3:30 so I can do calls from 4 to 7:30 before the kids wake up. The kids wake up early, the cat's upstairs doing the morning shift. And I get the bulk of my work done between 4 and 7:30. And then I go on the dad boat. And then dad boat is just from school drop off. So 7:30 to about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then I get to train for myself because training is my regulator. It's my tool that I use to stay regulated throughout the day. And then I go back in the work mode and I usually do like the less cognitive stuff where it's like creative work where I'm creating brand packages for coaches, building programs for clients, still do some calls at that time and editing the podcasts. And then I go on the dad mode again at 2:30 and that's it for the rest of the day. That is my perfect day. If I can do that and create an income for the family, which allows us to do the things we want to do, I can do that for the rest of my life. So that's where we want to get to that point. It's not an amazing, like, I'm living the high life, living on the beach and all that kind of stuff. It's like, what is it that you would happily show up for every single day? And that's the perfect day. How does your journey from an end of a road parent to the space influence your approach? Yeah. So my journey, I was an alcoholic and like racked up massive amounts of debt from it. And I gave up drinking not long before meeting Kat, my wife. It was probably like a year before. I think it was literally just a year before. And she coming into a relationship with me, having this huge amount of debt, this huge debt that I racked up with me being an alcoholic, which eventually led to me losing a house and all kinds of stuff. And she stayed with me the whole time through it, which is like kudos to her. But I carried this massive weight of guilt through because I was like, I've got to pay off this debt. So when we became parents, I decided to be the stay-at-home dad because I wanted to be a parent and I was really excited to do it. And Kat was more excited. She wasn't more excited to go back to work, but she was better suited to go back to work. So she worked and I worked on mine and was a stay-at-home dad and did bits and pieces here and there of in-person coaching. But I didn't realize how hard it would be being a stay-at-home parent while trying to run a business. So I got cooked like really quick and I was jumping around trying to do a lot of things. And it took a long time to figure out what I actually wanted and what I wanted to do in my life. And I think that's the thing about being why I decided to want to create the space builder concept is like, what kind of space do you want to live in? What kind of space do you want to have in your life? What kind of capacity? And that's the whole idea of space builder is like health, give you enough health and fitness so you can do all the things you want to do. Relationships, show up as the person you want to be, where your partner wants to date you again. Your kids want to be around you and you're supportive and helpful to the tribe. And then what kind of prosperity do you want? How much income do you need to live your life the way you want to live it? And then once you set those goals, it makes it easier to focus and get alignment with it and collect proof that you're showing up and getting towards those goals. And that's what we do in space. So yeah, like I've been there, I've been completely burnt out, hugely depressed. I was very depressed when I became a stay-at-home dad. So all these things I used to be able to do, I didn't have time for anymore. And it's been a long journey of trial and error, figuring out these tools that allows me to show up in the areas that we need to as parents as a minimal viable dose or minimal effective dose so you can still get improvements while having enough time and space for your family as you can. All right, excellent. What's the most common misconception about time recapture and how do you address it? We always say time recapture is a tool. We reclaim and recapture and repurpose time is one of the tools. And then we do money and we also do attention. But recapturing time and repurposing it is it's basically looking at where you're bleeding energy. Where are you using time that doesn't align with your perfect double state? Where you want to create this space or build this space for yourself. So you take an honest look at your calendar and go, where am I putting time that doesn't suit the goal at the moment? And then you start time blocking. This is the tool I use with everybody. You time block the important things. I time block my dad mode first. And I time block my health and fitness second. This is the way I do it. And then I time block my career stuff after that. That's what I've got left. And I use it as a problem solving tool. That's what I've got to figure out, how to create the income I want to create with the time I've got left. For other people, it's going to be career first because they're full-time workers like Kat. She puts her work in first. Then she puts her mum mode in. And then she puts her health and fitness stuff in. And fits that around that. So it's different for everybody. You find the stack that works for you, but you want to block those times in, the most important things to you, and make them work. And then whatever you can do is what we do as coaches and in the programs and stuff is show you how to get results with whatever you can do. Can you share a success story related to implementing the North Star concept? Yeah. So the North Star concept is really, it's just a set of like a 2-year vision. Like, what do you want your life to look like in 2 years? And you can do it in chunks. You can do, what do you want your health to look like in 2 years? You can do what you want your relationships to look like in 2 years, and you can do what you want your prosperity to look like in 2 years. I tend to do all three. And what do you want to do is you go to the 5 2s. So you go your 2-year vision, and okay, now what are you going to have? What are you going to be have succeeded in doing in 2 months' time to be on track for your 2-year vision? And what about in 2 weeks' time to be on track to your 2-month goal? And then what are you going to do tomorrow to be on track with your 2-week goal? What are you going to do today to be on track with tomorrow? And it just ladders down and creates this nice little list of daily actions you need to do. And then all you do is collect proof that you're showing up for the daily actions that are going to lead to your goal. It's really simple on paper, more challenging to do because we have all these stories that knock us out. So my success story, I was trying to think of the best one I can pull in. I would say it'd be Scott Davies. He was a really good, he wanted, his North Star vision was to be just improve his downhill mountain. But he had stuff all the time to do it. He was able to get out for rides on the weekend, but during the week it was really, really hard. He wanted to lose a bunch of weight, and he's done F45 before and all these other things and got really good results, and it fell off the wagon. He was kind of skeptical coming in too. And I can share the testimonial he did of it. And he's still going now. I haven't coached him in over a year now, but we catch up every 3 months just to see how he's doing, and we just have a chat every 6 months. And he's still crushing it. He's still leaning out. He hasn't missed a day of training for ages. So his idea was I want to be fit for the bike, be really, really lean and put on a bit of muscle. And we spent 9 weeks just building that system out, maybe a little bit more than 9 weeks, and put those daily actions in place. And those daily actions have continued on for 18 months. And he lost 10 kilos when we worked together. And I think went down another 5, and now he's starting to put on muscle. So he's increased his lean muscle mass a bit. But yeah, just sticking to the plan. We taught him the super simple tools to create his North Star, which is to create his goal in 2 years' time. He was able to achieve it. What's your origin story as a space builder advocate? My origin story as a space builder advocate was probably around me going through multiple bouts of depression, and something I'm going to probably juggle for the rest of my life. But going from being raised being alcoholic coming to terms with that and the depression that kind of hit afterwards, and the depression through it. And then had a business, a gym, and it got so busy, I needed help and brought a business partner in. We ended up shutting my gym down and merging it with his one. And then it collapsed in 3 months. Not even that. Just from like breakdown relationships, a whole bunch of stuff. I've done it on another podcast about it. And that was like a month out from our wedding. So I was like very depressed going into our wedding. I just lost a business. And all these people I was helping, we had 100 people and I lost them all. So I have lots of these bouts of depression. So it's been a long journey to figure these things out, but like changing my story to allow me to feel good, which is the whole point of Space Builders. It's like, feel good and how you live your life. And what we do in the Space Building coaching programs is we help you change your story so you enjoy the life you're showing up for, or we'll show you how to change your life to the way you want it to be. So I am my own sort of success story, as wanky as that sounds, where I'm constantly creating a space or building a space I want to have for my family, for myself, and building my perfect average life. And all the tools I'm learning are just what I'm passing down. But how does your approach to dreamlining differ from conventional life planning? The dreamlining I took from Tim Ferriss. It's his dreamlining concept of like, how would you want to live your life for the next 12 months or even 6 months? Figure out how much that costs. It gives you a number that you need to go after. So we do that as a family. I do that with everyone that I work with in the mastery coaching program. Where it's like, cool, what is your perfect average life? How much does that cost? How much are you bringing in now? What are your current daily expenses? This is the gap. We focus on bridging the gap. What do we need to do to bridge the gap? And that's where we do things like recapture and repurpose, or reclaim and repurpose, like time, money, and attention. So sometimes the gap disappears when you point your resources to the thing that matters most, like your money and your attention and stuff like that. So dreamlining is all about like figuring out how much it's going to cost to live the life you want to live, and then bridging the gap between where you are now to get into that. And there's a whole calculator and tool set I have for that. So if you want to see that, drop a comment, send us a message, I'll send it to you. Unique methods of transformation. So what unique techniques do you use as space builders that set you apart? They're not so much unique. It's more that we use the tools. We create the tools to suit the three main things. It has to be time beneficial. So whatever time you put in, it almost doubles, triples the return on investment. So you do 5 minutes, it gives you a massive reward. So time beneficial is number one. The other one is family focused. It either improves or includes the family dynamic to help reduce the chances of dad guilt or mum. And the last one, it has to be elf versus hard. So it has to be easy, lucrative, and fun versus hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. You're never going to stick to stuff that's hard, annoying, and lame and frustrating. So we change the approach to each person to make it easy to do. It's lucrative, it works, and it's fun. So you show up and do it for the rest of your life. And that's what we do. I think that sets us apart. We don't just give you a plan and go, just go or do it. Like the tools we use are to make your life enjoyable. So it's easy to stick to, so you don't have what we call habit hangover, which is like week 3, week 7, week 12, where when you start a program, you have all this motivation and it all works really well. And then typically when you start something, you're pushing other things away to make it fit because your life's already full. What happens when that stuff comes crashing back because it's like, oh, I need attention. We're still important. You fall off the wagon. That's what habit hangover is. So we use tools and systems and frameworks to make sure habit hangover doesn't happen. How do you adapt your perfect average day strategies for different family situations? That's the perfect thing, isn't it? Like it's in the name. Perfect average day is for the individual. What is your perfect average day? It's not what my perfect average day is. I love my structure to my days at the moment. I feel like I could do this for a very long time, at least till the kids get older and they want to stay up later. And then that's when I'll probably have to make it. then my perfect average day at the moment works for me. And when we talk to people, or when I talk to people and hold space for them, and we discuss what their visions are, what they want their day to look like. So when you're doing your perfect average day, it's whatever you want it to look like. Don't be forced to do something else, or don't be forced into someone else's perfect average day. And that's why I think where Space Builders is different. You're building your space. We're going to give you the tools and systems and frameworks to facilitate that change in your life. And then it's how we stand out a bit. Can you share your personal transformation being stuck in a rut? I kind of shared it before, so we don't need to answer that one too much. But it goes in cycles. I think everyone's been there. Like you're going really well and you fall into a heap. Like say fitness, you go really well, you get tons of progress, and then something happens, something derails you, and you fall off the wagon. The biggest thing that I've learned over time, so this is becoming apparent, that to get back on the wagon or to get out of the rut, it's not jumping back in where you left off, because that's a huge amount of effort. Picture it like you've climbed Everest and then you've fallen all the way down to the bottom. You can't just imagine, you can't just jump back up to the top of Everest and start from where you were. You got to start from the bottom, which is like the 5-minute stuff. So all the tools we use, most of them can be implemented in 5 minutes. They all scale on top of each other. That's how you get back to feeling good very quickly. And that's why we do it. What's the most rewarding part of helping others become space builders? I think seeing their reactions when they go through the tools and seeing how simple it is, and then how they make it work to their life. And then understanding the stories that has been stopping them from achieving the life they wanted. That's what lights me up the most, when they have these aha moments of like, oh yeah, when it stops it becoming like a mystery of why their life is the way it is. It becomes I've got the tools there. I know what I need to do. And we just mentioned like falling off the wagon. You go into its goal, and when you fall off the wagon, you're much quicker to get back on the wagon. And it happens faster and faster, and it comes like an infinity. Yes, you'll have setbacks, but they don't derail you as much as what they originally did, because you've got the tools now to keep getting back on the wagon and keep moving forward. How do you stay up to date with the latest research in work-life integration? Trial and error. So I'm a manifesting generator in human design, if anyone cares to go look it up. And my life is meant to be a life of trial and error, where I try things and fuck things up, stuff things up, and pass on what I've learned from my failures and figuring out the tools that work to other people. And then I move on to the next thing. So I seek out problems, or I take note of the problems in my life to fix them. So all the research, everything that I do is to help solve a problem I have in my life. And then I think that maybe someone else would like this problem solved as well. And then I create a system, a framework that can be taught in less than 5 minutes that they can learn as well. So that's how I do all my research. It's usually I have a problem, I need to go research and find out how to fix it. And then I create a system or tool around that I can replicate over and over again. It's easy to remember, and I teach it to other people. What's a common mistake you see in time management, and how do space builders correct it? I think the biggest mistake I see people make is more, like the concept of more. I've got to do more. I've got to be more. I've got to try more. But when you get really clear on your perfect average day and your North Star, you align your focus to what is the most important thing. And then you just plug your day and stack your day, what you got. And I'm a big decision filters guy. So if I stack my day with dad mode first, that has to be blocked out. And then my health and fitness was like 90 minutes a day. And then whatever's left is my career stuff, with also like my personal, like mental white space. I'll call it white space on the calendar, where I can just have me time and just relax and recharge. So I'm a better dad. all those things that you've got to fit in my 24 hours. Well, less than that. Like you only wait for 8. Or sorry, you wait for 16. You only wait for 8. That'd be cool. You only wait for 16 hours. So it's got to fit in there. So I'm ruthless with like cutting things out that don't fit into those blocks. So these are skip. I just don't do them because I'm a decision. If I have to carry that burden around of missing out on stuff all the time, it just weighs you down so much. So once I've got my day stacked and I've got my things in place, nothing else will fit in there, and that's it. And that's the problem with time management. A lot of people want to do a lot of things, but they don't have the time to do it because they're a parent and they juggle on careers and stuff. Decision filters help a lot. And that's my decision filters, like dad mode first, health and fitness second, my career is third to support the other 3. And that's how I stack my day. How does your background influence your coaching style with busy parents? Because I've tested a lot of stuff on myself. And if it didn't work for me, I didn't really teach it to anyone else. And because I've gone through a lot of mental health stuff, a lot of the tools I teach, which is this whole help concept, to make it easy, lucrative, and fun. So you can then stick to it when it's a very, 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 very challenging time. So the concept of the fueling for fat loss is like, I do track my calories because sometimes I emotionally eat. And I know all parents listening to this will do the same thing. And then fueling for fat loss, which is what I call tracking the calories, like, or fueling for performance, where I can eat whatever I like, but I eat this much, which allows me to emotionally eat. When I have a very stressful day with the kids or whatever's going on, I can have a pizza, just put it into the tracker and I know how much I can get away with. It allows me to have the thing I need right in the moment, which is that thing or food to make me feel good, which it does. And I'll also feel good after because I don't have shame around the fact that I've just overblown something and I'm going to put on weight. So all the tools we create are for that reason, to help you achieve your goals without the guilt. Can you describe a day that showcases your commitment to the space building principles? Yeah. Like every day I message my one-on-ones clients and they message me back our daily intentions and our daily wins. So every day I put down like the 3 to 4 to 5 things I'm going to do for my build for adventure. So for example, today I'm going to train, I'm going to do a bit of running on the treadmill today. That's my big one today. I'm going to go do get 10K steps and take Simon, our dog, for a walk. I'm going to fuel for performance and I'm going to hit my protein set point, which is like, I'm going to eat enough. I'm going to eat plenty enough to make me stay the weight I am at the moment. I'm in the maintenance mode. And I'm going to eat enough protein to make sure I'm recovering and I'm feeling full between meals. Be the man, tools down by 2:30. And then we'll go do athletics this afternoon. So I'm getting focused for that. And then do some activities with the kids before we go to do athletics, just stuff inside like drawing the things. And then the household, we're going on holidays soon. So I'm going to be making sure the laundry's done and the kitchen's all tidied up and everything before we go away Friday morning. And then for Perfect Average Day, which is the prosperity stuff, I'm recording sessions with podcasts and those simple online clients, guys who I do marketing and branding for, and edit those up and get them all ready to go. So they're all done. So I don't have to worry about them for the rest of the week. And then update my social media because I haven't done anything this week and put content on social media. And that's my Perfect Average Day. That's what I'm listing out for my thing. And then I tick them off at the end of the day to make sure I've done them. That's it. And we do that every day. We do it backwards and forwards to each other. And I give them guidance on how to tweak things to make it work. How do you explain the recapture and reallocate concept in simple terms? So that's a concept from Nick Peterson. Once you've got your North Star, you know where you want to go. Going on an expedition, you're going this way. You get on a boat and sail that way. And then dreamlining is like how much is it going to cost in resources to get there? Typically money. And then recapture and reallocate is, okay, so we know where we're going. We know how much it's going to cost, time, attention, and money. Recapture and reallocate is cool. Where can we recapture and reallocate time to put towards this expedition? Where can we recapture and reallocate money to put towards this expedition and close the gap? Where can we recapture and allocate attention and put it towards this expedition? And that's the concept. Like, that's what we want to do. Collect all the resources we need to have the most efficient expedition possible, which is achieving your North Star. And that's what we want to do. And when I do the recapture and reallocate tool, I always find time and money. Always. Like, I've recently just did it a month ago. And I found that $200 to $250 a month. Like, things add up quickly in business when you get in bits and pieces of software. I love testing out stuff, so I always will test out things and start up stuff. And my personality type is I'll forget that I've started up things. So I do this recapture reallocate every 12 months, so every 12 weeks. And I always find money. The biggest I found one time was $10,000 over a year of recurring expenses that I just got rid of. So the tools work. If you want to know how, send me a message or drop a comment below and I'll give you the tool. How do you help parents maintain long-term motivation in space building? That's like that's where like the North Star comes into effect. You got to be excited about your North Star. It's got to be exciting. And then you got to be excited about the daily intentions or the daily actions you do to achieve. If you're not excited about doing the daily things to achieve the North Star, your goal in 2 years' time, then that's probably not a good goal. We need to change it. So that's why like if you're showing up for this stuff daily, this is why I'm always big on the daily thing. It shows you really quickly if this is the life you want to live. And if you're jumping into a race you don't want to finish, change the direction. And that's where you change the goal and change your daily intentions. And we just keep doing that until we achieve the goal. And that's how you maintain long-term motivation. And I'm not a big, like, motivation is energy and energy is motivation. We don't know how to get motivation, and we do know how to get more energy. And if you have more energy, it creates space for motivation to thrive. So in the space building world, our space building world, we're like, if you want more motivation, you got to create more energy, which creates space for the motivation to come. So like, what things can you do to create energy? And that's where the re-energize to motivate framework and concept tool comes into place. What pivotal moment led you to specialize in helping busy parents? I think just because I'm a parent, I know it, I live it, I know what they're struggling with. My parents with one neurodiverse kid, Theo, potentially two, with Remy showing signs of things. So I think it was just like the tools and things we're using, we're building for our family, will be helpful for others. So we just want to share them. And I want to create a hub, a space, parents to come in and work on this stuff and share these things and jump on these calls with us, where these weekly calls we're going to have inside this community, Space Builders community. If you want to get a link to the Space Builders community, I would invite, drop a comment, send me a message. We can have a chat and I'll invite you. It's invite only. We want people in there who want to do the work. But yeah, come check it out. We're building it now. But yeah, we wanted to create a space where we could share the stuff we're learning and other people can share what they're learning. And we can make this parenting life we have health-like, easy, liberty, fun. How do you balance your professional and personal life as a space building expert? So I like to have my hands in a lot of different things. It's my personality type. I like to work on a lot of different projects, but making sure I show up for all the projects I'm doing. If I just do one thing and one thing only, I get kind of bored with it. So that's why I like space building. It's just like the conversations can be around health, it could be around relationships, it could be around prosperity. That's fun. I enjoy that because it's problem solving. I just like solving problems and creating tools and helping people figure out how to show up for the stuff they are really excited about. So the balancing act and you saw like my perfect average day, it balances really well with my life as a dad. So you haven't heard that, go back and listen to that. But yeah, my perfect average day allows me to show up in a balanced way. How do you measure space building progress for your clients? It's the daily intentions and daily wins. Like, are you showing up for your daily intentions? Are you counting your wins? Are you collecting proof that you are the person you want to be in 2 years' time? That's what we want to do. Like, take your 2-year vision and start living like that person now. And then all the material, like weight loss, wealth, all that, the rewards will come. If you're living in alignment with the best version of you or the heroic version of you, which is that person you're going to be in 2 years' time. And that's how we measure progress. Do you feel good living as a person you want to be? Yes, no? If not, we make a change. Yes, then cool. Let's keep going. Let's keep doing it. What's the unique family challenge you've helped overcome through space building? So this is a personal one. Theo going through his autism assessments and neurodiversity stuff. The way we've structured things is that I'm the primary parent to go take Theo to all his appointments and assessments and all that kind of stuff. And we had to make it work. So I used all the concepts that I teach, all the concepts I've taught in space building is what I've had to build into my life to allow me to show up in dad mode to support Theo and to support the family while we're going through this juggling phase. So create enough income to support the family while having the time available to go do all these appointments and things like that. So these constraints create problems, time constraints, obstacles, all that kind of stuff, which sounds terrible to say, but those things create problems, which are problems I like to solve. So if I come up with butt up against a problem, I'm like, cool, I want to solve that. So for example, I want to train to do an ultra, but I don't have the time to do this huge amounts of running to do it. My body doesn't handle that amount of running. So it's a problem I've got to solve. So I'm going to test things out, cross training and doing one long run on the weekend. And the rest of it's all like less than 45 minutes and just building towards it in that fashion. And then using the 10K steps thing to get the time on feet. So yeah, that's what I like doing. And the challenges I come up against is how I create tools for the space builders community. What's a common misconception about space building you'd like to clarify? Ooh, that's a good question. Common misconception about space building. I think it's always tool or system specific. So we've got like 9 steps to the health arc, which we call build adventure. We've got 9 steps to the relationship arc, which we call be the man or be the woman that your partner and tribe want to be. We've got 9 steps to the perfect average life or the perfect awesome life, which is what I started calling it now. So, and then there's 9 steps to the mastery framework, which is the thing that sits below all that and shows you how to use these tools and make them work. So each tool has a common misconception attached to it. That's hard for me to do it now, but I think it's kind of like common misconception people have is like they are broken and they can't make these things work. These things that they've tried. It's not that you're broken. You just haven't figured out how to make them time beneficial, family focused, and health first half. And that's what we do. And that is slightly different for everybody. And that's why we do it in a more close-knit community where we help you and guide you on how to make these foolproof plans work in your life. How has your approach to family time and prosperity evolved? I think the way I look at it is like, if you get your health in alignment to where you want to be, you look good and you're in shape. The easiest rule of thumb is like we use a rule like your waist measure is under half your height and you're fit enough to do the things you want to be able. That health, that positively affects your relationships. You feel confident in yourself. So you have a better relationship with yourself. You look you look good for your partner and you show up in a better way for your partner. So the whole idea of them wanting to date you again. And then you have more capacity as a parent to be available for your kids and hold space for them and create those gaps between when they trigger you and your reactions, create a gap so your reactions are more of a positive, more of what you want to be as a parent, less of like what we're conditioned as a parent. So I think when you go through the story arcs, like you work on your health, positively affects your relationship, positively affects your prosperity. But once you got your health in line to where you want to be, once you show like you're being useful to the tribe, you're being the man or woman for yourself, you're being the man or woman for your partner, and you're being the man or woman for your kids, you tend to need less things. You don't want a lot of stuff because you already are feeling really good. So your prosperity is more around like you're already living it. So you don't have this huge aspect of like, you don't want to go buy things just to feel good. You feel good already. So your prosperity is more around experiences. That's what we want. That's how things evolve. You get your health in line, get your relationships in line. Prosperity sort of solves its own problem. And then your prosperity is more around creating the experiences you want to have as a family rather than like getting super expensive cars, just throwing money at the front. Really. All right. 4 more to go. How do you integrate the North Star concept with Dreamlining for holistic results? So North Star, I've talked about before, North Star and Dreamlining together. North Star, the 2-year vision, what does it look like? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? But like having, being, doing. Then Dreamlining is like, what is the cost of living that life? So you take stock of like, what are your current basic expenses? What's it going to cost to have, be, and do the things you want to do? What's the gap? What's your income? And then what's the gap? And how we bridge the gap? We use reclaim and repurpose or recapture and reallocate to shorten the gap. And then if there's still a gap after you do the reclaim, claim, and repurpose, we go, cool. Now let's make it work. What do we need to do? And that's what we do. That's how we fix things. Fix things is the right way. That's how we get you to achieve your North Star or get you to achieve your perfect average life. What's your process for improving space building methods? Feedback loops. We teach the concept, you go away and practice it, and you come back with feedback, or you give advice. You give advice, feedback, or you ask a question. But that's the loop we kind of use. So it's like we teach the concept, we show you the behind the curtains, like how we're using it in our lives. You go away and practice it. You come back and ask questions about what you've practiced, or you give feedback on what you learned. We don't want people to give feedback on something they haven't tried. That's our rule in Space Builders is learn it, get a peek behind the curtain, and then it's like ask. Give feedback on what you learned and what you practiced, or ask questions on how you could probably make it better. And we do that over and over and over and over. And then we improve our methods of coaching based off the feedback we get. Can you share a moment when you doubted the space building path? I think everyone has doubts, which is what we teach in Space Builders, which is your shadow self. It's the stories that are conditioned in there, or in the sense of the shadow self when we teach it. It's a protective mechanism that's come from something that's happened in your past. It's a personality trait you've got that is trying to protect you because your brain doesn't want you to change. It wants you to stay the same. The brain really struggles with change. And when you become a space builder, you're constantly wanting to make changes to improve your life. So your brain will fight you. So there's always going to be doubt. So I've had doubt all the time. I've had doubt about the space builders concept because I want to have space builders for parents. I want to have space builders for addicts. I want to have space builders for teens. I want to have space builders for men in their 20s, which is coming soon, and mums only and dads only, all that kind of stuff. Like all these different branches, having summits around the world and all that kind of stuff. And it's very big goals. But and that causes doubt when you think really, really big. Cool. So there's a 2-year vision of like having summits and all that kind of stuff. What do I do today to be in alignment with that? And that reduces the doubt. How do you envision the future of space building and the family prosperity? I think if we all, no, I don't want to say we all, but I believe that when you take your journeys through the story arcs, everyone likes a good journey. You create enough health and fitness to have capacity to do all the things you want to do. And when I say capacity, is like you're fit enough to go do things you want. And mine is like, I want to be able to go do a 21-kilometer Spartan race, which is a running race with obstacles year round. I want to be able to do that whenever I want to. But without maybe 2 weeks notice, I can just jump in and do it. That allows me to go do trail runs that are 21 Ks or whatever. And I can do them whenever I feel like it. So when I'm in that world and I'm that fit, I feel good. I feel confident. I look good too. And then I go into the relationship part where it's just, I'm not available. I can hold space and I'm showing up and being the man for myself, holding space for myself. I'm showing up and being the man for my wife and holding space for her and supporting her in what she needs to do with her career and her health and her as a parent. And the hardest one, the most challenging ones, I'm holding space for me as a parent, where I'm like learning how to be a better dad for our kids as they're going through this neurodiversity stuff. Because it's just a totally different thing than what I was taught growing up, the way I was parented. So I'm completely having to rewrite the way I have to parent. And it's like having the space to be able to do that and learn the new way of parenting, which is like more flow versus force. What does it look like? It was fun, all that kind of stuff, and letting go. Those 3 things is like what I'm constantly hitting on. And when you get through those things, prosperity tends to just take care of itself. Everything else is already in alignment. If you jump ahead and try to go to prosperity to fix your health and relationship problems by throwing money at it, by trying to earn more and more money, you're actually making the other 2 worse. Working on your health positively spirals out and it positively affects your relationships and it gives you more prosperity. Prosperity doesn't just mean money. It's true wealth. It's experiences, life worldly. Yeah, that's all the questions. But 47 minutes to talk. So I hope you got something out of it. I'm going to chop these up and use them for a bunch of other stuff to pretty much invite you all to come into Space Builders. So Build for Adventure is part of the Space Builders system. So Space Builders is like the health arc is Build for Adventure. Creating excitement in your life as a busy parent. Be the man or be the woman for your tribe is a relationship arc. And then the perfect awesome life is what I started calling. Now, I used to be called the perfect average life or perfect average day. Now I'm starting to call it the perfect awesome life because it sounds more enlightening. It makes me feel good saying that too. I've used the word awesome a lot, so that's part of that. That's the prosperity piece. So if you would like to come and learn all these tools and how to make them work in your life, come into the Space Builders community. It's called the Space Builders Hub. We've got these little communities in there. We've got the mums community, we've got the dads community. We're going to have 20-something-year-old dudes community in there. They're all in their own communities where they can all have these conversations with each other and with us. And we got all the tools and systems and frameworks we talk about. We're all sitting in there ready to go. So if you want to come check it out, drop us a comment, send us a message, share this with friends. The community is open. You just got to reach out to us and we'll have a quick convo and we'll invite you in. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.